intimidating.
I mean, there was that one time
In band camp?
that guy that kind of he kind of started flipping out. That was a little weird.
I heard about that. Tell me a little bit more.
During in the lab with Jennifer's show, this guy was like
You
trying
just
to
touched
like.
my knee.
I know. I'm sorry. Not really though.
I moved my knee.
I'm sorry, Warren.
He's okay. He's touched it before.
This guy, I don't know what was going on, but he just like tried to. I mean, he flipped out and he tried to dig to China. I mean, it was weird. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know how to describe it. He honestly like flipped out, and for a second, I mean, I was slightly worried. I was worried for people around him because he was honestly like out of. It seemed like he was out of control at that point in time, flipping out.
You know what? I think people underestimated doing dabs and altitude.
Yeah.
He was the only one that I saw.
Well,
I mean, and I don't even know if it was fully dabs. I mean, I don't know.
It may not have been. You're right.
I hung out and kind of talked to some people in line one of the days, and they were from like Texas and New Jersey, and they were like so pumped to do dabs.
Of course,
so pumped, and they had never done dabs.
Did you warn them?
I did. They were like, I heard it's like smoking a joint all at once. I was like, yes.
Is that how they talked?
Yeah, well, no, that's just my stoner
twang.
representation. Hey, man, I heard it's like, no, they, and so I figured there's a lot of people new to it, and they were handing out pounds of oil, dab by dab, to people, and, yeah, I definitely saw some people just really lit up when I was there. It was for some people probably the most amazing thing they'd ever been a part of. They'd never, been out to, maybe they're not a big live music fan, I guess, I don't know, and had never been to a concert and seen people smoking marijuana in public of any kind and outside and wow. Don't get me wrong, it was cool. But yeah, I kind of have the same impression that you do from it. Sorry.
It was. I keep having to step back because so much of my kind of fears and anxieties around it. I mean, I made Chris go everywhere with me. And when I left, Chris had to come with me. I was like, come, not because I thought anyone was going to do anything to me, but because of the whole crowd mentality and what happens when people do crazy things in crowds. And just because I've passed out in crowds a couple of times before and had some bad experiences.
No, but it was really tight. To have a festival of that size with that many booths sort of stacked in together, there needed to be a little bit more room sort of in the center. And having it up and down the street was really cool. Cool street fair feeling to it. But that also, that street, what is that, Larimer right there, I guess?
Yeah. On the backside. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it just felt so packed with people. So I think all of that, it's interesting. I wonder if Exto will host this again, and if not, where they would go to do something really big. Where?
Remember where we saw Kid Cudi? Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah.
You have to talk in the mic.
That was probably. I mean, that place is probably
too small.
Renovated, too small.
Well, they're all big warehouses. My idea is a big warehouse that is out in a more industrial area, where cars parking on the street aren't affecting residents, where there aren't businesses running on the weekends, because the bar that's right on the corner of Larimer and...
They were loving it. Why would they not love
that biker bar?
Last year, he was pissed. Last year,
Pissed?
Because people would go in and use the bathroom and they weren't buying drinks. This year, it looked pretty busy.
Oh, yeah.
But last year, he was pissed off.
Yeah.
So hopefully the business that he made this year, was enough to make him appreciate the potential of next year.
Well, I mean, I think Ganja John went in to get some money out of that bar at the ATM, and it was out of money.
Yeah, it was out. I plucked it full of money. I got a sweet bubbler last night.
You did?
From the Colorado Project auction, actually. I'm very excited to say.
Oh, yeah.
It's really pretty, yeah.
Yeah, the Colorado bubbler. Very excited about that.
I've seen that one in person. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I was really, it spoke to me. And I was like, if that's still there when I come back in an hour, I'm going to run to an ATM. Well, the ATMs were out in Exto, and so I ran over to...
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I ran over to that bar, and I took out money, and I mean, that's a That's a true dive. That place is.
I'd like to go. I've never been in.
It's,
And
yeah.
The bar?
Yeah, I need to go in with friends.
Oh, the bar is.
I
for sure.
think we need to pitch moving it to Heritage Square, where the Alpine slide is up in Golden.
Oh.
I
All
don't think
those
that would fly at
storefronts
all.
are just sitting unused. Come on, perfect booth spots.
Why not?
Dude,
An
it's a good
Alpine
idea, but I
slide?
mean, that's like a family area. People, I mean, that would.
Hey man, people said marijuana wouldn't get legalized even
It's a
in
great
small
idea. I mean,
amounts.
it's a good idea.
We
It's a
can
good
get
idea.
Heritage Square. There's an Alpine slide,
I mean, it is a good idea, but I don't know
cars,
if it would fly.
exhibition center, and I'm just saying
It would be fun, huh?
it would be.
Fun.
For those of you
Me
who
and George
don't
are
know,
sharing, Mike.
it feels like an 1800s townscape up there, sort of ripped out of a theme park, but all to support only one Alpine slide. So
I'd be down for an Alpine.
I'm
for sure.
serious. I think High Times should move it there.
No bumper cars though.
There's plenty of parking. There's all sorts. I mean,
There you go. See, you just solved their problem.
I did.
Because it's definitely outgrown the
Exto.
Exto. If it's going to be like a,
Yeah, back to what I was saying. There's too much. There's a lot of people, which is great, but when the lines start backing up into each other, then there's nowhere to go. It becomes very claustrophobic.
And what was nice about that is, yeah, it was definitely claustrophobic. I mean, I left yesterday at like, I don't know, maybe 2:00. And so the crowds were just starting to hit. And I didn't even bother to walk back into the recreation area because I couldn't get close to anything. But everyone was really good spirited about it. Even the people who had waited in line a long time were definitely happy to get in. I will say that I talked to a few people who ended up leaving because they couldn't get close to any of the booths. So it was just walking, cattle driven through all these areas without being able to stop at any of the booths.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that, and I think for people who live here, especially, and if you're, into the cannabis thing, and dabs aren't new to you, you could do that. You could walk around, take in the whole thing, maybe check out a cool couple products in glass, and then be out of there and be fine with it. But again, I think we had so many. I met a guy from New Zealand.
You did.
Oh yeah, he flew over specifically for this.
Wow.
And there's so many people here to experience that whole thing. They didn't mind waiting 10 deep in a line and to get up there and take a dab and then go straight to the next booth and wait
Yeah.
10 deep in line to take a little dab. So I again, that aspect of it really cool socially, like the whole thing.
Absolutely.
I
kept reminding myself that the fact that we're able to do this is fantastic. I was sitting with our intern Sam, and actually the three of Chris and Sam and I were walking through the middle part in between the Exto and the parking lot where the T-shirt vendors were and some of the glass was, and Sam looked at me and he's like, I'm not worried that the feds are going to come in and bust us.
Yeah.
And I said, no, they're really that's not a concern. That's not something that you need to be
What a
concerned
waste
about.
of time that would have been.
Yeah, what a waste of time that would have been. But even 5 years ago, definitely more than that. Looking over your shoulder and making sure anyone taking pictures, oh my gosh, you would have freaked out about people taking pictures, much less video, much less posting it on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And now it's that part is so fun and so liberating. And even as someone who doesn't smoke, I think that that's just fantastic. I loved watching everybody. I loved having all the Stone people who came to our booth and if I heard One Love one more time,
One love, man.
5,000 times, and I thought it was fantastic, right? Yeah, what was the bolt of positive energy?
Bope.
The bope. Bope. So that kind of stuff is just
That's
is so wonderful and so positive. However, we would be remiss if we didn't critique it as well.
Yes.
And
And like we were doing before, we got on the air about the trash that is out there.
oh my
right now.
gosh.
I don't know if you guys wanted to jump right in.
Absolutely. Chris, can you go to our Facebook page and show the picture that we posted of the lot that was across the street that,
There's one on mine too.
yeah.
Facebook.com
So across the
William
street,
Breeds.
they cleaned up all the booths. There was for those of you that didn't go, there was a portion that was inside the Exto Center, and then the medication section was kind of in a building behind the alley. And then across 35th
Yes.
was an empty lot that they had, I don't know, 50 booths.
Yeah.
It was all cordoned. It was all cordoned off, and so that was a small medication area, and then the big recreational area.
Yep.
They cleaned up the booths, so all the things that were rented, the tables and tablecloths, and the pop-ups, and the fencing is all gone, and what's left is trash.
Piles of trash.
Piles of trash. And you actually went and saw it today.
I did. That photo started circulating around the internet thanks to some of the guys over at the Hood Lab, actually, I believe.
Dankosaurus Rex took the picture.
Yeah, thank you,
Why didn't
sir.
I come up with a cool name like that?
This is all new stuff. I don't even have a cool name necessarily.
I don't
like
even
that.
have a cool name.
Your
Like,
name-
You should have one before me.
Your name's
Really?
that is funny.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to add Dab to your name.
Yeah.
Right, me. That's what. How
Just-
about Rub?
Georgia Dabs.
Georgia. No, that's been used.
G-Dab.
I'm
That's the whole point, is because Dabs and Weed as your middle name is overly used. Everybody and their mother, just like everybody has a birthday on 420. You're like friends list is like 400 people. Like it's a birthday on 420. It cracks me up.
You're pretty funny tonight. I have to tell you that.
It's
That's because I'm out of it and you just
I
Holy
like
crap.
that.
Didn't know so many people's mothers were
I'm nuts.
We're busy back
getting
in.
busy
yeah.
in July.
So on that
Think
note,
about it.
let's actually take a
that
quick
picture.
breaky break, and then we'll talk about the picture that Chris is going to post. You're listening to iCannabis Radio. My name is Georgia. We'll be back in a flash.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Whether you are a commercial grower or cultivate as a hobby, No Dough Urban Garden Supply is Denver's first stop for your hydroponic grow needs. With a wide range of products including House and Garden, Botanicare, and Fox Farm, their knowledgeable staff can get you started on your first garden or help you with your well-established business. No Dough Urban Garden Supply is located in downtown Denver at 1330 27th Street, 4 blocks north of Coors Field near MMD of Colorado. They are open 6 days a week from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 303-296-3424 or visit them on the web at www.nodougurbangardensupply.com.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
Hi, welcome back. You're listening to iCannabis Radio. I'm in the studio with Westword's William Breeze,
Hello.
John Doe from John Doe Radio.
Hi.
And of course, Chris. And we were just, we were just talking about the High Times Cannabis Cup this weekend, and how everybody really, for all intents and purposes, had a fantastic time, and it went on without incident or accidents, and that's fantastic. And unfortunately, there have been some downsides to it, and one of the problems that arose, and we're not placing blame. We have no idea whose issue it is the mess, the horrible mess that was left in the parking area that was the secondary vendor area. And Chris, do you want to post that picture? This is a picture that Dankosaurus Rex, who stole my name because I thought of it first, posted on Facebook, because really all the news that's important, unfortunately, is on Facebook.
I got a great name for you. Sorry to interrupt
You
the serious
do?
moment. Like pterodactyl, because that's another dinosaur. That's a good one. Pterodactyl.
But I don't
Pterodactyl.
dab. But I don't dab. Like,
But
that's
you're
not-
looking for a cool weed name.
Why can't it be something that I use, like a balm or a rub or some topical name? I love that. Don't get me wrong. Like, that is super cute.
Well, if you
leaving.
call yourself
Georgia South.
Georgia South, I mean, you can't
I guess
put
that's not cool. I'm not cool. I've never been cool, so why should I try now?
don't put rub in your name, okay? I'm just saying, don't put rub
Yeah,
in your
that
name
might
because
not
it
be
just
a
might,
good one.
might not go over well.
I don't understand.
Neither do I.
Okay. So if you can hear through the torch noise in my studio,
He's got to hit that mini phase 2.
it really is super cute, I have to say.
It is.
This
I was
super
commenting on that
cute.
earlier. It's a really nice
It's a
little
super
tune.
cute rig.
Big thanks to Hitman, Dougie over there. Big ups.
Big ups.
Yeah, their stuff was all over the parking lot. Speaking of the parking lot, yeah, unfortunately, and that's sorry to get us back on topic.
Right, thank
that
you.
Harshly, but it yeah, there's flyers for everyone's business just floating around this parking lot. The trash bins are half of them are tipped over. You know, the recycling bins and all that stuff are just still standing where they were left. Scaffolding for the tarps just left behind. So it was a pretty poor showing. You know, and again, we're not placing blame here or anything like that. But some of the larger booths left behind seem like these places left an awful lot of trash behind.
Well, and there is one booth that is shown in your picture, not the picture that we're showing right now. That was a structure that it appears like they built. So
you can kind of see it right in the middle, but it's with the fisheye effect. It's
You can
very
see-
small. But yeah,
you
no,
can see it in
it was
that
the
picture,
wax
too.
rooms booth that was up, and then we were talking before. It looked like one of the couches from Pink House was out, and I'm not trying to place blame on those two, but it's pretty obvious when you walk through. Like it, well, maybe
So
not.
this-
Pink
I mean,
House,
I
but
noticed.
the
I noticed
wax
that
room
it was
signs
maybe a Pink House couch there. Which I mean, I love Pink House. I think the pictures that they have from this weekend up online are just absolutely awesome. The Church of Dab and the flamethrower, the Bates flamethrower that they have standing on top of the storage containers. But you know, at the same time though, Pink House was involved with the 420 cleanup downtown. So I mean, what this tells me is just there was somewhere along the line somebody wasn't.
there was a misunderstanding about what was supposed to happen with stuff. I think that that's probably true.
Platte Valley is the wax house, by the way, or the wax
Yeah,
room.
that's right.
Platte
Yeah.
Valley.
And so people who brought stuff in that they didn't intend to then bring home probably assumed that there would be some sort of removal of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what's going to happen, no matter what we say or no matter what you say in your
Yeah.
blog, what's going to happen is that the news is going to say, look at these businesses.
I know, unfortunately,
and the
yeah.
neighbors are going to say, look at these businesses, because they're not going to care about the hows or the whys. And in fact, to be honest, I don't really care about the hows and the whys. I just know that it's embarrassing.
Oh, it's a black mark on it. No, I agree. I think that the one other thing is there are also plenty of other large booths that are no longer there. So at least some of these people, you're right, some people maybe expected that, but plenty of other people didn't expect that to happen, and they packed out their massive builds.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just interesting to see.
I don't know if other places got instructions on how to do their breakdown. I
Yeah.
know personally, our booth, we were just told what time to break down. We weren't told anything other than you need to be out by a certain time. So and I'm saying we're different because we got our booth for free. Thank you so much, Dan Sky, and Rick Cusick at High Times for giving us that booth. So maybe the other vendors were given instructions, or maybe not.
Yeah, no, and either way, like you said, it doesn't matter who dropped the ball at this point. It's unfortunate, and I will say, if it wasn't High Times, and if whatever, I would assume not, just because it seems like venues usually take care of this kind of stuff. It really stinks for High Times that someone else would not take care of that. Actually, it just stinks for the whole community. I mean,
Absolutely.
River North is a really cool it's a really cool neighborhood, and to see it trashed like that is just really disheartening.
Well,
So-
and knowing that they're going to blame the cannabis community for that, and they're, it's not going to be that, hey, that High Times did this. It's going to be just like the issue that happened in Civic Center Park with the asshole that decided to shoot a gun in a crowd of tens of thousands of people. And I'm so glad that you weren't there. I was really worried about you.
I was on top of the library.
What about me?
Were you there?
Just kidding.
I knew where you were.
Did you know exactly where I was though?
I knew where you weren't, actually. Knowing you, I knew you were not there. I knew you were
Yeah.
not there. But just like that, it isn't gonna. People are gonna read the headlines. It's what they do.
I know.
Your first 3 sentences are the ones that make or break everything, and people don't bother to read anymore, especially if they want to make assumptions about something.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to make an assumption about lazy stoners, then they're gonna say, look, that picture of all the trash is what lazy stoners do.
There's no assumption to it. I mean, like, if there better be a plan to clean it up like right away. Otherwise, I mean, there's no assumption of lazy stoners or anything. This is just a failure to do what
The
we
right
needed
thing.
to do, and this looks horrible on us. And
but-
exactly what you're saying. I mean, it's going to reflect bad on us. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's from over there.
Like we're hearing really weird bells.
I think it's my Google
I was
Voice on
wondering
The
if
Office.
the dogs were like playing music off in the distance
They're really
somewhere.
talented.
Wow,
it's okay,
you
don't
have
worry.
talent.
It's okay.
It's
don't
all
worry.
good.
It's okay. But yeah, it is a black mark. It is a black mark.
So, and then you're right with the shooting too. And what stinks is both situations. I mean, there was a shooting in City Park at Jazz
Fest.
Or the Jazz in the Park concert, and people weren't blaming Merlot.
That was an officer that was killed too.
I know, and then the same thing with the Cannabis Cup. That's just someone dropping the ball. And think of all the beer festivals that go on in this town. It'd be the same thing as if someone just dropped the ball and didn't clean up after a street festival at one point. Wouldn't necessarily blame all the drunks.
Right. So how does that work? Like, how should that work? I mean, I don't know enough about
Production.
yeah, this kind of situation to know. I mean, I make an assumption that all of those things are contracted and figured out. That there is no guessing about who's to take care of the garbage.
Well, I've always I understood Exto to be an event center that you hire on to put on your event, so that you don't have to think about things like trash. So again, not trying to place blame, but I would think that the people that you as a promoter come to your convention hall or whatever, they take care of that stuff. But whatever. I take my trash out to the alley every day. That's about as much as I know.
Right. Me too. So I've already seen at least one person post on Facebook that Mrs. Dabbs. See, the name's already taken. Lauren Lair is wanting people to go ahead and meet her out there tomorrow and pick up the garbage that's left out there. I applaud that. I think that's fantastic. It's snowing out. It's going to be wet and disgusting. I appreciate people taking responsibility. It certainly makes our community look better. I'm still disappointed.
There are definitely people in this community that want to go down and take care of it. I mean, there are people that are just absolutely dumbfounded by this. I mean, it's amazing to see the lot look like this. And I mean, honestly, it's fully visible from Larimer Street, which is a busy street downtown.
Across the street from where people live.
People totally should. You can find hidden gems. I found a can of butane, like I said.
Dude, that's what I mean. I was walking through last night.
Go picking, but clean up trash while you're at it.
And I honestly, I was walking out last night, and it's not just the lot. It wasn't just the lot. I don't know how. What else did you see down there? Like, I mean, did you see? Because the street was just as bad as the lot.
Well, the street wasn't as bad, and I was expecting to see more. I think we've, in a way, thankfully had some of this moisture and stuff isn't blowing around because there's some water and whatever holding it. So I was actually expecting to walk up and see everything had blown like all the way up to Downing.
Right.
And it hadn't. It was pretty contained. So it's disappointing. It stinks.
Dude, it was a hugely disappointing time this weekend in both the events that went on. It was just overcrowded. I really had to convince myself that, look, this is something new, and it's going to be improved upon in the coming years, and it's going to be something amazing. It already is something amazing. I mean, it's the fact that it even happened and it went down. I mean, it went down really well. We're being really picky about this. I mean, the Civic Center Park issue is a huge issue that's not just about the 420 community. It says something about our city as a whole, and a growing problem that we have here, which is, violent crime is on the rise, gang activity is on the rise here. I mean, homelessness is hugely evident right in front of, which I'm not saying that necessarily leads to crime, but
desperation does.
I mean, that's. Yeah. I mean, it does. I mean, that's why I was sort of being a semi-smart ass there. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how many people are in front of the Capitol homeless. I mean, you drive by it and it makes the city look absolutely horrible, and not to mention the fact that it's just a humanitarian issue that we have. And that's one area. There's a whole other area down by the homeless shelter, the Jesus Saves homeless shelter for people. Jesus Saves. Yeah. That
isn't that called Seal Beach or something like that?
I mean, it's like it's the triangle, quote unquote park.
Yeah. But I used
homeless.
to live. Did you say Seal Beach? Isn't that what they called it?
They have called it that.
Seal Beach? Holy crap!
All the homeless people in their sleeping bags.
Yeah, dude.
Seals, I think it's awful.
It's not nice. Yeah,
that's a horrible name.
Make sure
We're talking about the same area. It's not funny. Stop your laughing. It's not funny. It's me. You're laughing because you're uncomfortable. I know. Yeah.
So anyway,
No one makes you feel more guilty than Jordan.
I used to live like 2 blocks from Civic Center Park, and a shooting in that park any day of the week would not be out of the question.
Right.
I mean, and that's the unfortunate part. It happened on the day when there was 15,000 people maybe at most celebrating.
What about the Halo cameras and all that are down there? I mean, they got video, from what I understand, a video image of the guy they think who did it, don't they? That's what I heard earlier. I'm not exactly
video
sure.
image of the guy that they think was
With the guy.
With the guy with the guy.
They caught the guy.
They caught the guy with the guy.
They caught the guy that was on the video.
Oh, really?
And then released him.
Caught the guy in the video and then released him.
And still looking for somebody.
Still looking for somebody.
Another suspect.
I've been driving around for the last
That's
3
what
hours.
I heard on Facebook from Denver Post.
That's
Once again,
crazy.
Facebook.
Dude,
Most
and
of your
Twitter.
news from
And
Facebook.
Twitter. Twitter is like number one, really.
I get my social news from Twitter.
Which, by the way, I couldn't get any reception at the Cannabis Cup or downtown this weekend.
It's a conspiracy.
It's conspiracy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude,
they didn't want stoners getting information because you might take over the planet.
Yeah. Don't let them send out peaceful images of them smoking marijuana.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's
Dude.
take a break first. Let's take a
Oh,
quick break.
take a break first? Okay, cool.
We're going to take a quick break, thank our sponsors, and we will be right back. Thanks for listening to iCannabis Radio.
The law offices of Edson, Mayton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
High up in the Rockies is beautiful Frisco, Colorado. Medical Marijuana of the Rockies is a medical marijuana center with compassion for Colorado's medical patients. Looking for great meds grown organically in soil? You've come to the right place. Medical Marijuana of the Rockies is just off I-70 at exit 203. Check them out at the web at www.mmrockies.com. Their ever-changing strain and clone selection is updated on the website daily. When making a trip to the mountains, no matter the season, stop by Medical Marijuana of the Rockies. Make sure you say you heard about them on iCannabis Radio. You can call 970-668-MEDS to get more information. Medical Marijuana of the Rockies, your mountain source for meds.
Hi, you're listening to my mom, Georgia Edson, on iCannabisradio.com.
If you don't think that's the cutest thing ever, oh my gosh.
It is.
So cute.
I talked about Gavin on
I heard you.
JDR
Thank
today. Oh, you
You're
did?
So sweet. I did. You guys don't pay attention to me in the chat room. I feel like I'm ignored.
I'm doing so much, and there's like, it seems like there's more
I
to
was
juggle.
talking to Bike.
Oh, you were talking to Bike. Yeah, Bike was in the chat. I'm trying to get him to monitor the chat room more, so I can do what I need to do, and he can pay attention to everybody that's yelling at me for something, probably.
Yeah. They're yelling at you, Tim.
You're doing it wrong.
No, I was listening not only because I wanted to listen, but I was trying to figure out how our internet skipping situation was going, and just to put out there, if we are people saying in the chat room that we're skipping, if we're okay, yeah, we're having a little bit of internet issue. It's not the station issue; it's our neighborhood issue. We had a Comcast guy climb the pole in the snow for us today. Nice. Fantastic guy, so nice. And it should get fixed soon, but he wasn't able to fix it in a blizzard. So we couldn't really ask for more. He came out within like 5 minutes notice. Warren called him up and is like, oh my gosh, my wife's going to hurt me if the internet's not fixed. And the dude was like, ding dong. So, all right, there is some breaking news that we're gonna tell you a little bit about. Tim, do you want to go ahead and?
Yeah, I mean, I just got this news from Bike. He sent this over, and I mean, this is crazy. This is one of the craziest weeks that I can remember. The Boston bombing suspect, which obviously we're all aware of that situation, is being considered in this triple murder in Boston that happened. And I mean, we talked about this on the Genre Radio Show. A lot of people that listened to JDR that were here in Denver around the beginning of Hitman remember, Eric E. E was, right-hand man with Dougie at Hitman. And this triple murder is what this Boston bomber is being eyed at doing. And I mean, this was a brutal murder. I mean, the story explains it as, them almost having their heads decapitated. Marijuana was thrown, all over on them, and money. Let me see. I'm not exactly sure the date.
So it was like I feel like it was about a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was maybe a little bit longer than that. I can't remember exactly what the date is. But I mean, these 3 guys murdered, and I mean, they think that the bomber knew one of the guys. I mean, it gives me chills. It chills me.
Yeah, weird.
Well, these guys were the Boston suspects were horrifically violent people. It's shocking to have them being looked at for another situation. It's not surprising that they could do something so violent and horrible. I mean, these guys were horrifically, terribly unstable and violent, and to be there's something almost fitting about having them possibly be involved in this situation. At least you narrow the number of crazy, violent people down.
Yeah, in a way, you're like, well, I know what you're saying. It's like a weird. Exactly, it's a horrible tragedy, but
it's a crazy connection, like, well, man. Wow.
God, at least there's not 2 sickos out
right.
there.
At least there aren't a lot of people who are capable of such.
I mean, there are 2, but there's one less in your mind.
That's
so
right.
I agree. That's horrible news. I mean,
it's good news that
really good closure.
I mean, it's good that they maybe are finding this out, but I mean, it's like, wow, like the animosity and the just sheer brutalness that people can exhibit and show is just, it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. They're saying in this story too that the bombing suspect is domestic violence history. I mean, it's nuts.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Just want to go ahead and do a little update on Boston really quick before we get back to 420. I'm sorry to take this much of a segue, but I can't help it. For those of you that remember, I have committed to trying to do the New York City Marathon in memory of and in support of Boston. Wednesday the 24th is when the lottery opens for the New York City Marathon. If you don't really want to run it, don't enter the lottery so I have a better chance to win and to get in, because I really, really, I feel every ounce of my being feels like running New York City is what I need to do to support Boston and to show Boston strong. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. I won't find out for a little while. If I don't get into the lottery, I will be hitting up everyone for whatever charity organization I'm running for, and we'll be raising tons of money to do that. And I might do that anyway. But for those of you that are interested, you can get I Run for Boston t-shirts on the BAA websites, and all the money goes to help victims of the Boston Marathon bombing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big one. That's going to be a lot of fun for you to
I'm ready.
Get up to the Big Apple and
I'm ready. My whole family will be there.
Colorado lungs and kick some butt.
That's right. I figure I've never run a marathon at sea level before. It ought to be good.
That'd be great.
My family, just so everyone knows, my family, my in-laws are going to come. My husband's aunt and uncle from London are going to come, and none of them are allowed to be at the finish line. While I know we're not supposed to be afraid, I'm going to finish without them. I'm going to finish and meet them elsewhere. There's something about that just seems like, that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, I'll keep you guys posted. Everyone cross your fingers and your toes that I get in through the lottery.
I got to say, man, it's like, as I get older, there are more and more things that become, inspiring and really sort of amazing, to think of to do. And I really can't imagine. I've never been able to imagine running a marathon, but I can't even imagine even attempting to try and start training for one at this point. So that's really cool. That's cool. You should be proud.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things. I run marathons. It's like, you're on another level of human being. That's cool.
Dude.
I can't run.
Maybe a little bit. No, I'm not. She's
It's
like
crazy.
within. She's like very, very, very much so within punching distance to me right now. So I'm just gonna leave it there. I think it's crazy.
It is. You know what? And I have to say that I understand why people think it's crazy. When you think about the distance, 26.2, and in fact, when I did the marathon in September, I actually ran 26.7, which my son really liked because the way that they measure a course is from shortest point to shortest point, and you never do that. You're not cutting curves. You're going in the middle of the streets, and so you end up running more of a distance. Huh. But I understand that distance is a long, long distance. I get that when you kind of say, yeah, it's 26 miles from here to wherever. Mm-hmm. But as a runner, it's not the mileage. I mean, Chris, you can attest to this. It's a race. It's a run. It's not that I'm running 26.2 miles. It's that I'm running this marathon. I'm running this race. And so miles have a whole different meaning when you're doing that. When I'll come home from a training run and Warren's like, "How much did you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I did 17 today." And he's like, "What?" But it's what you do to prep for.
Oh, I know, it's amazing. I have friends who are professional mountain bikers, and just to hear they always cycle for like 50 miles in a day,
right?
And that's nothing,
right?
Dude, I'm almost passing out right now just thinking about it.
I know.
When
Walk with my dog in the park and I'm out.
Dude, for real.
Well, I had someone say to me, have you ever run and been on your feet for that many hours as it's going to take you? I mean, that's what you need to be prepared for, is you're on your feet for that many hours. And it's true that, that whole thing is different. But anyway, yeah, it's fun, and I'll keep you guys posted, and thank you, everyone. I always get such great support, and I really appreciate that you guys at least pretend like you care about my little running escapades. I appreciate it.
I think it's fascinating, like I said.
It's fun stuff.
It's like people who climb mountains.
It takes dedication. It really does. I mean, it takes dedication.
I've not been particularly dedicated recently, but Boston is definitely a huge motivator for me. Anyway, back sort of on track.
420.
420. We are at 422, and really, last year there was this thing called the Cannabis Cup cough, or the Cannabis Cup crud, where sort of the week after the cup cough, the week after the cup, people were sick and tired and hacking up a lung and sporting fevers and the whole 9 yards. And for some reason, I'm not seeing that this year. I mean, not that people call me and say.
I woke up this morning and I don't know if it was just because of the El Gatos, the cats, or if it was because of the cup. But man, my left eye, I felt like I was like pink eye.
Oh.
If I didn't know any better, I'd be like, wow, adults can't get pink eye.
Well, of course you can. That's
yes,
ridiculous.
Yes, you can.
I don't think I don't know. I think it's like super. I think you're super resistant as an adult. But no, that's not what it was. It was allergies. It was allergies.
Woo!
Did you see Georgia just back off from me like I was
right
a leper?
Into it, yeah.
I feel funky leaning into the mic like this.
I
guess I don't have to
that
lean
by
that much.
Not smoking
not
right
sharing.
After people. Like
I tried
my
not
friends,
to.
Okay, yeah, but all the people jumping in line one after another to get. I bet there's some sick people.
Well, of course, and I have to say that's something I've always kind of teased people about is.
Wipe it down.
Yeah, is how and people were doing that at the Cup.
Yeah, I made a concerted effort to like wipe down every single piece that I hit somehow, and I was like usually hitting it with a kiss of the flame, because I mean, dude, I was sick. I was like feeling, the effects of cup cough for a good month, man. Like it hit me pretty hard last year, so hopefully it doesn't this year. Emergency,
definitely, but people who smoke joints and blunts and pass those around. I mean, there's no way those get wet and gross and nasty and full of whatever cup cough consists of. That's what's in that rolling paper.
I think we've moved beyond passing joints in this community.
I think that's the lucky thing. Yep.
Dude,
it's like Jamaica where it's not
kosher to do that.
It's not kosher to do that at all.
That happened like this weekend. We were sitting at the lab.
You're sounding like such a stoner right now.
Dude,
totally that happened.
I'm so and I am. I'm like super tired, so I probably am super stony. Hey man, like totally. People couldn't pass. Chris cracked up. People couldn't pass joints. They were like, "You damn dabbers." I think that was the biggest thing, was just everybody was dabbing, but multiple people. I mean, over in the lab in the green room, There's multiple people who lit up joints, and I mean, they couldn't pass it off to save their life. Nobody wanted it. Everybody was just blazing up dabs.
So, we weren't the only ones to celebrate 420.
I don't know what you're talking about. Denver is the only place in the world that's
Well, Denver's definitely the most interesting place.
But we're not the only ones?
We're not the only ones. And in fact, we at MMD of Colorado, we were
Seems
posting.
like it this year.
I know, right? We were posting sort of like how NORAD does Where's Santa on Christmas Eve. We were
that's wonderful.
Where is it 420? And we started in like New Zealand or whatever. We got bored of it really quickly, actually. but it was
like,
fun.
we did like two time
It was
zones.
fun for a couple time
the
zones,
idea.
right?
I read
The
about
idea
some fun
counted.
420 stuff. I know that in Dunedin, New Zealand, all the students there get together in a field and they smoke ganja on 420.
That's awesome.
I know. I went to the field and I tried scoring some herb there and no one had any.
So it wasn't so fun.
True story. So it wasn't so fun. But I had read things that's where everyone goes.
Did you hear about what happened to Snoop Lions' party on 420?
I saw the headline. I saw that it was shut down.
It was to have started at 11 a.m. and it was shut down right about at 11 a.m.
Oh, wow. That stinks for Snoop.
Snoop Lion does not know how to throw a party.
Apparently not.
I know. I'm not sure how hard it was.
I wonder
He
if
probably
like
should have
his
stayed
concert, he essentially just throws the same party over and over and over again.
Were you there at the Snoop Lion concert?
No, I wasn't. But I assume it's probably just like every concert he's played.
I heard people were pretty bummed out about the Snoop
here. I don't
Lion.
know why he's pink, but
Wow.
yeah. Snoop, party's over,
He has
Snoop.
dreads now.
I'm going to be mean just for a second. Like, I have nothing against him personally, but I don't understand this life change. I don't understand. Did he actually say that he thinks he's the reincarnation of Bob Marley?
It was dude. It's a leading YouTube. It's a leading video on Hulu.
I will say this.
I haven't watched the
understand
video.
going to Jamaica and coming back. wanting
A
to be
changed person,
Jamaican,
yes.
a changed person, because
Yes.
it's happened to me.
Me too.
But I did not come back and be like, call me Will Lyon.
That's awesome. You know what though?
You know what? We will now because you didn't
Will
ask us to. Because you didn't ask us to. We'll now call you that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
it's
but I mean,
wonderful.
I can see why you would have done it for
Did
business
you call
reasons.
me dude or did you call him dude?
I'm just saying, dude.
The royal
okay.
dude.
The royal dude, exactly. It's the dude for it, and I can see why he would have had to.
We can't do a show together. Like you can't pull it off with me. You just can't. You just can't. You get too flustered with me.
Aye.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
I'm fine. Here, I'm fine. I'm fine. But no, I think that it's a business move.
What business? Like what business thought that was a good idea? Like what? I just personally no longer take him seriously.
I really do think that. I read some quote from him too recently. It was like a Playboy quote maybe, where he said someone compared him to Miles Davis, and he was like, I thought that was cool, so I had to go look up who Miles Davis was. And I think he's just so clueless as to everything else. Yeah, I know. The look on your face says. So I think it's one of those things where it's like all of a sudden he realized he's like, there's people called Rastafarian. And they grow their hair in dreadlocks and they smoke a bunch of weed. And so he's totally down on it for a while. But, you know, whatever. I'm not going to hate on the guy for finding peace and love and cannabis and joy. And
Okay, I'll just do that. All right, we're gonna have to take a quick break because Chris needs to giggle at us. You're listening to iCannabis Radio. We'll be back in a flash.
Have you heard of Coloradans for Cannabis Patient Rights? Do you know we are Colorado's only medical cannabis assistance program? With our team of sponsors, we offer a comprehensive sliding fee scale for medical cannabis patients on low and fixed incomes. For a list of sponsors, please visit us at www.c4cpr.org or leave a message at 719-271-8430. Also, join us on Facebook, Coloradans for Cannabis Patient Rights.
Let's face it, rules and regulations are complicated, especially in the field of medical marijuana. Let Medical Marijuana 101 help you get through the compliance process. We can also explain to you your employment requirements, your employees, and your business. But our work doesn't stop there. Our experience in cultivation ranges from the design of grow rooms to the diagnosis and resolution of grow problems. Visit us at www.medicalmarijuana101.com or call 303-388-7706. That's 303-388-7706. Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it on grass. runongrass.com.
2 hours now. It's been 72 hours that Chris Rosales and I have spent together, and I think he's ready to go home to his family and not be with me. So we were just talking about the world outside of Denver, Colorado, and that 420 celebrations, albeit not nearly as interesting and exciting, do occur. And since we're talking about trash off air, we were talking a little bit about more about the trash situation because we're all pretty bummed out about it. They celebrated 420 in San Francisco, California, in Golden Gate Park, and guess what happened?
What?
They left a bunch of trash. So about 15,000 people gathered in the area known as Hippie Hill in Golden Gate Park, and they left a boatload of garbage. This was an unorganized, unsponsored event, just a place where people go and gather. And in this situation, attendees are to blame, without a doubt. Clean up after yourself. How difficult is it? If you brought it, take it out.
Dirty hippies in San Francisco.
I know, right?
I mean,
Right?
I love San Francisco. It's a beautiful town. I love the people there, but
you know,
sadly, it just doesn't. There's just a lot of that already in the hate in that part of the park too, and that's
you know as well as I do.
Though
These were like younger kids who
the
were
high school kids who
high
skipped
school
class.
Absolutely.
Well, Saturday, so they didn't have to.
They lived in Burlingame, and they drive up to the city, and their parents have beautiful homes, and they sit on Haight Street and pretend like they're panhandlers, and then on 420 they go to the Golden Gate Park and they leave crap in the park.
Yep.
Your parents are embarrassed. Let me just be clear with you. They're embarrassed.
That number is huge, man. $10,000 is a lot of money.
$10,000. Thank you for reminding me. $10,000 is what they estimate it's going to cost to clean up the park. $10,000.
Wow.
We have a picture, but I forgot to post it. So feel free to check it out on CBS San Francisco's website.
It didn't look as bad as the cup picture, though.
Right. It just looked more like bad picnic leftovers.
Yeah, the cup
There
picture
was no
like
couch. There was no couch.
The cup picture is like almost every square foot has trash.
It looks
in
like the trailings of like a Boulder frat party.
Exploded. Like it looks like four
But
frat houses
just like
exploded in the middle of the
stoner
field, man.
frat you can think of.
Right.
Dude, I couldn't believe it. I mean, last night walking out of the event, that was the one thing I noticed. It was impossible not to notice. I've done events before. I've put together events for years, you know? I mean, fairs, been to events, been to festivals, and man, like, I don't know whether it was, people going there, the people that attending, or if it was people, that were supposed to be taking the trash, but it was glaringly obvious how much trash was left behind.
Well, on Sunday morning, because where we were was right on the alley, we could see the dumpster and bags of trash, and that was after day one. You saw, as you said earlier, garbage cans tipped over and dumpsters full, and I mean,
Party's over, everyone went home.
Party's over, everyone went home, and the neighborhood is left to look at our trash.
That's a big reason why I didn't even grab anything either. Like I only took cards and handouts from
You didn't get butane?
that I really, really want. No, I didn't get any butane. I may go back down to the field though quickly this afternoon and grab some
I'll take
butane.
you.
I'm telling you.
Dude, I bet you
I was
there's-
looking for ground scores. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, as I was walking out, as I was walking out last night for sure, because there was so much trash. If there was something there, you would be like, hey, check it out. This is a good giveaway.
We cleaned up our mess though, right?
Yeah, our mess.
yeah.
We did a pretty good job.
Cleaned up the mess.
I know.
before the-
I said that earlier. One of the things that, thank you, Chris, for saying that. One of the things that was really nice is as soon as they brought the garbage cans out yesterday morning, they did actually have small, maybe like kitchen-sized garbage cans out several places around the venue. Chris immediately not only picked up like our trash, but picked up water bottles and things that were in our vicinity. So thank you so much for being a good citizen of the planet and bothering to want your space to be nice and neat.
It's
the least
more
we can
people
do.
need to.
Okay, so 420 next year. Actually, let's really quick. Do we think that there's going to be a July 10th event?
Yeah.
A 710,
Oh, I already know. There's going to be a 710 Cup.
Is that on July 10th?
11th,
710.
12th, 13th?
Oh yeah, it's the
Get it?
Day. That's cute. I do. I get it. It's cute.
He sees what we did. So I've heard it's going to be 3 days, and
Really?
none of the days are going to include the 10th.
So
11, 12, 13 is what I
it's-
heard.
Really?
It'll be cool.
That's
It's
what I
at the
heard.
Oriental, but God, the hash bash that they threw there back in December. I mean, that was the most smoked out, oil smoked room I've ever been a part of.
Yeah. By the way, we're going to be giving away tickets to the 710 Cup.
You are?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Hitman
I'll
Glass
go,
is a big
I'm sure.
sponsor of it. We got a nice Hitman Phase 2 here. I talked with Dougie. He said he'd be more than willing to
Talked
work
with
something
Dougie,
out.
Did the Dougie.
I don't know how to do the
I
Dougie.
don't either.
Teach me how to
Didn't the roof in the Oriental fall in?
It did, and then it
It
was
was a while back,
replaced.
and then it was replaced.
Yes.
I don't know that I.
The Oriental is kind of a sketch place, in my opinion.
It
But
sounds like it's perfect for this.
It
though.
was really sketch. It was really sketch when they
I
took
don't
it
mean
over.
that. I don't mean like that. I mean
damn.
as no. As an event, it sounds like that size venue, and it's it's in a cool part of town, and it just sounds.
It's a cool, funky music venue.
The Oriental is not
Used
going to
a
be big enough for the
porn theater,
710
I
Cup.
think, for
You
a while.
think?
No way. It's already has a bunch of hoopla and tickets being sold, and it's already going to be huge. So,
Yeah, Weed Maps is sponsoring it.
and I'm telling you right now, there could end up being 3 times this state sees massive festivals during the year: 420, 710, and sometime in October for a Harvest Cup. It may end up being our worst nightmare here at the beginning. But I think
Yeah.
that over the years
cut-
that it could be something massive and big and refined, and we learn from our mistakes, and I mean, honestly, with legalization coming at the beginning of the year, just thinking strictly about tourism and what this state is going to become and what Denver's going to become, I mean, it's mind numbing. I mean, even getting a view of what yesterday, how popular this one event was yesterday, and then extend. Maybe not, an event like that over the year, and the tourism and the amount of people that come into town. I mean, that's a huge.
Sure.
I mean, it's a huge influx into our state. It's going to be crazy.
Well, we're gonna
I
get
lost
an
where I was
update
going
next week. That's
100%.
okay.
I saved myself decent. I'm about ready to fall over, man.
We're going to get an update. I'm having coffee with Matt Brown tomorrow, so we can talk about how my 420 tours went for him.
New Zealand dude was part of that.
Yes. Yeah, I actually thought he was from Australia, but yes, he specifically came here to go on that trip.
Yeah, he owns the hemp store in New Zealand.
There's one.
Apparently, yes, that's
the
what
hemp store.
The
Yeah.
hemp store. You
I
can
saw a bunch
look
of
it
people
up.
from Cannabis Week over at Carnival, and they said they were having a great time.
They
been
were
blown
at
away.
the park. Some of them were at the park during the 420
Oh, wow.
Civic Center rally. There was a bunch of them, Matt included, who was about 100 feet away from the shooting, but there were a handful of participants who were about 15 feet. I guess if you're going to get the experience, you might as well
Welcome
get the
to Denver.
whole experience.
No, man, we don't want that at all.
My guess is that they didn't take it as anything other than what happens in a big city. That's my guess.
Well, I'll say it again because it needs saying. A shooting in Civic Center Park
Not a
any day of
surprise.
the week is not a surprise.
Not a surprise. Unfortunately.
Yes.
But
I'm
it
not
really,
saying
I
that's
mean,
cool,
this is the
but-
first time it's happened in that area, you know. I mean, right there in the park. I mean, it hasn't happened in I can't remember the
Yeah, I
last
used
time
to
that
see
something
stabbings in that
specifically.
park a lot
Well,
when I
one-
lived by
one of the
there.
Stabbings, maybe.
Violence, period. In that
I think
park
it's
is
scary how much violence is on the rise in Denver. I mean, scary. I say that lightly because you can still walk around. I mean, I'm in an
This isn't
area
New
where I
York
would have,
City.
I would have never.
Right.
I mean, I would have never
We're all
wanted to
running in
walk.
6 months.
I would have never wanted to walk, a mile
In my
through
neighborhood.
through the area where I'm living, where I'm at right now. Had before it was rejuvenated, and I mean now it's a fantastic area to be in. Most of Denver is a fantastic area to be in. There's still spots where you don't want to walk through at night. I mean, I still wouldn't want to be downtown, alone walking around at night. I mean, because there's bad things that have happened. There's been issues with people, gangs, jumping people downtown in the past, and it's just being, I guess, safe in a big city and realizing that our city is exploding, and then now even more so because of the cannabis thing. I mean, talk about tourism. I mean, we are already an international city. We're going to become even more so of an international city with this.
Yes,
I mean,
please.
it's the
Yes,
new
please.
Amsterdam tourism is going to be just huge.
I am so excited. I think it's fantastic. I'm so excited for this. I'm excited for people to come and experience Colorado for all that it is. I mean, one of the things that I feel connected to Denver and Colorado about is how health conscious we are and how outdoorsy we are and all the things that we do to commune with nature and enjoy where we live and be really healthy, and cannabis is a part of that.
Oh yeah.
And I much prefer having cannabis tourism than that reputation we have as being a city of a bunch of drunks.
Oh yeah.
We do have a pretty big beer city. I mean,
Which honestly, hey, I have plenty of responsible drinking friends, and I like some of that comparison to the craft beers and stuff. But I agree, we can be known for all sorts of things here, and cannabis is definitely one of them. I was giving away cannabis to people on chairlifts this season who had asked.
you were
for it.
giving away cannabis to people on chairlifts.
Well, people from out of town asking about it, college kids from out of state during spring break especially.
Holy cow! I got hit up for
What are you guys looking at?
cannabis more times than
We're looking
ever
at
this weekend. People were, "Where's the
Hemp
weed?"
Connoisseur and you connecting together to talk about doing a cleanup tomorrow to get rid of the leftovers from the cup. So thank you so much to Hemp Connoisseur for organizing that. Please check them out on Facebook, and if you are able to participate,
yeah.
freaking tastic.
Well, thank you.
Fantastic. You know what? We actually have to stop because Tim's gonna fall over.
Stop.
I have a little kid to put to bed.
Oh, it's already 8.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I've got to get. I'm
but-
working on my anniversary present for my wife this evening.
Ooh, can we know or no?
Yeah, because she won't listen. I'll make sure she doesn't listen. I'm making her.
You can tell us after
I'm good with a needle and thread. I'll tell you after the show.
All right.
Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
People now guess.
A needle and thread. Yeah.
So, William Breeze, thank you so much. How can
Thank
people?
you for having me.
It was a pleasure. For those folks that, if it's possible, that don't know about you and your writings, what's the best way for them to start following you?
You can find me on Twitter at William Breeze, on Facebook /William Breeze, and then over at westword.com and tokeofthetown.com, where I live pretty much all the time. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I know you'll be back because I'll pester you if you don't come back. I'll even cry. Like, I can do that.
No.
I have brothers. I can cry.
On command.
Yes, pretty much. Pretty much.
Well, I will be back. This has been fun. Thank you again
Awesome.
so much.
Thank you. And Tim, as always, it's been wonderful.
Awesome.
I want to thank this week's sponsors: Mile High Wellness, Nodo Urban Garden Supply, Cuffle, Collimore and Company, Edson Maton and Matts, Medical Marijuana of the Rockies, Medical Marijuana 101, and of course, Run on Grass. I'm Georgia. You're listening to iCannabis Radio. We have a huge week ahead of us. Tomorrow night, Sex Pot Radio from 6 to 8. Thursday, Hemp Connoisseur Magazine from 4 to 5. Of course, every day from 11 to 1, John Doe Radio. Don't miss it. Next Monday, In the Lab with Jennifer Murray from CanLab and Jill Lamoureux from Americans for Safe Access. And of course, I'll be back next Monday. Thank you so much. See you next week.